And you're going to fail, 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 and then you're going to win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live.
Like, what if everybody's chasing some sort of finish line, but what if you just today just made the decision, because they're all decisions, I've already won. That's it. I'm alive. I've got one good friend. I've got one. I'm sure every one of us can find something in our lives that we like. And this idea of already thinking of yourself as having won the game and the rest of life is simply, it's all after the finish line. Mm-hmm. It's anything you want to do after the finish line. Go have a good time. He said, what if you just decided you won already? And I was like, oh my God, everything's great.
Not everything that's happened to you in your life is your fault, but whatever it is that you have, it is your responsibility to work through. Will Smith also said this, right? Where it's like, it's not my fault that my father was an alcoholic, but it's my responsibility to do with it because it's a reality that I have, and I have to work through those things. And so for me, it was like, it rang really true where I was like, okay, it's right. And if my life is going to change, I have to be the person to change it.
But someone being able to ask you, what do you want with your life? Do you believe a better version of yourself exists? And take responsibility to take that into action. And the reason that question to ask yourself is, do you believe a better version of yourself exists? Is because if you say yes, you are admitting that you have faith.
But you're stuck in this messy middle where you haven't yet worked out who you are on the other side of this. And that lonely chapter that's in the middle is something that I would say almost nobody that I've ever met who has gone from a place where they are to a place where they want to be hasn't gone through.
You need to have faith a better version of yourself exists. You need to take responsibility for your own life into your own hands. Most likely you're not going to have a role model following you, telling you what to do, asking you these hard questions and pushing you in the right direction. You need to be the one to do that.
Because of social media, you are programmed to think that success happens overnight. I'm sorry to tell you, life doesn't work like that. Not for normal people like you and me. Start learning how to be where your feet are, not where your phone is. Success takes time.
If you get to the end of your life and it's not what you wanted it to be, and you didn't create the life that you wanted to, make the money that you wanted to, have the success, the love, the happiness, travel the places that you wanted to, whose fault would it be? And I said, it'd be my fault. And he said, the problem with you is you're treating this life as if you're the victim. And what you need to realize that everything that happens to you is your fault, and that your life won't change until you decide that you want to be the CEO of your life.
Do not be triggered by their timeline, because it's not your timeline. You have to learn to trust the timing of your life. I wish somebody had taught me that in my 20s. I was constantly panic-stricken about whether or not I was keeping up. Trust that things are happening for you and for a reason.
But at the same time, everything that happens to us in our lives, we have to say, okay, how did I contribute to this? How am I responding to this? How can I make this bad situation better? What did I do to make the situation happen? If you want to find purpose, you have to take accountability for your life. And what I mean by that is like no one can bestow it upon you. No one can just give you a purpose. It is within you, and it is there to be discovered.
You're going to lose sleep. You'll doubt whether it'll work. You'll stress to make ends meet. You won't finish your to-do list. You'll wonder whether you made the right call and have no way to know for years. This is what hard feels like, and that's okay. Everything worth doing is hard, and the more worth doing it is, the harder it is. The greater the payoff, the greater the hardship. If it's hard, good. It means no one else will do it.
So you want to have an agenda for your life. It's necessary that you have some direction for your life. A friend at the National Speakers Convention gave us presentation, and it really struck me. He was talking about when he was traveling across Europe, Warren Gresham, and he said at different points, soldiers would wake them up on their journey and ask him the question. And I posed this to you. The question was, where have you been? Why are you here? And where are you going?
This is your new life. Take it or leave it. There's no happiness about it. There's no peace behind it. It sucks. It just fucking sucks. And that's the one thing, if I could teach anybody anything, it just fucking sucks. And it's gonna continue to suck. And then one day you'll get to a special part in your life that it might get a little bit better. But to lose the the weight you had to lose, my friend, sorry, it's gonna suck every fucking day.
If you want an extraordinary life, which my definition of that is life on your terms. Like, what's my idea? It might be different than yours completely. Some people, it's 3 beautiful children, a white picket fence. Some people, it's building a multi-billion-dollar business. Somebody else, it's writing poetry, right? So instead of looking for somebody else, it's like, okay, what do you really want from your life? And aligning yourself with moving forward towards what you really want. And I think if you can do that in a way that also you feel is serving others simultaneously, there's a sense of meaning in life that can't be replaced.
Everything changed for me when I realized that we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time. I started accepting that where I am right now is where I'm genuinely meant to be. Tough days are all a part of the process. Lean into them. Bad days are also part of a very good and meaningful life.
And I think the ability to abstain from doing the easy, pleasurable thing that's right in front of you and picture a life that you can dream of, asking yourself if a better version of yourself exists, what that version of yourself is, picturing the plan to get there, and actually starting and executing on that plan, I think is such a rare thing right now, and so hard for people to stop and even think about, given how much constant distraction there is in their life. And that's what made me want to ask this kid. I was like, do you believe a better version of yourself exists?
It's harder when you don't know what the end result will be. It's harder when you face the uphill challenge and you deal with it and you go through the adversity and you face it head on, and you that's where you build confidence in yourself.
Because at times of hell, even the hardest men, in times of suffering, what we do is we forget how hard we really are. Because that's what suffering is. Suffering is a test. That's all it is. Suffering is the true test of life.
You know, if you ask the average kid, do you want to be exceptional? Do you want to do something great with your life? The answer is usually yes. But their actions very rarely align with it. And I feel like I didn't have anyone, and you don't need someone. The responsibility lies within yourself ultimately, always. But I do believe that like a role model could be a huge asset for pushing yourself to ask these hard questions and being like, if you want to be exceptional, what you're doing right now is average or even below average. And if you want to continue to be average or below average your whole life, then continue doing this. But you need to make a serious change and start doing hard shit and letting go of the easy shit, the comfortable, pleasurable shit.
Because you gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen. It's a beautiful world, because that's where you find yourself. You don't find yourself in over here.
What are you so afraid of losing when nothing in this world belongs to you? None of this is permanent. And so the idea that we'd fear some permanent outcome from an impermanent existence, the longer I've been in the game, the more disgusted I am by that feeling. Nothing great was ever accomplished by someone who was afraid to try because of what they thought other people would think or say about them.
I mean, what is the point of me then surviving all of that? Now just gonna complaining how hard it was. What is the point of me surviving any of it?
So someone can tell you you're gonna be okay. It's okay to have these feelings.
Exactly.
You know me, it's okay. It's okay to have these feelings.
Yeah, it's okay to hate man. It's okay to be bitter, right?
Missing out on risk is that we have this big fear of this thing, when the reality is that if you risk nothing, you become nothing. You are nothing, because nothing ventured, nothing gained. You're not going to get what you want by never risking what you have. And the thing is that the things that we have aren't always material. And I think this is actually one of the big misconceptions of people who are starting out, is like, I can easily stand here and say, you were the most dangerous in the beginning because you have nothing to lose.
I want to own 100% of the suffering I went through in my life. I don't want anybody telling me, hey, Goggins, you can't say this. I would lose my shit. What I suffered this badly, and you gonna fucking tell me I can't say this? There've been all kind of problems with that one. So I made sure that I wanted to own all of Can't Hurt Me and own all of my own life story. So that's what it really is all about.
I have nothing to lose. And that was when, if everybody who's like at the bottom and feels like they have nothing going for them, reframe that as, I have nothing going for me, which also means that I have nothing to lose by taking action, it makes you a much more dangerous person. And I think that was the flip that I've had repeatedly shown to me in my life that allowed me to take the step that I was afraid to take.
But that's where the true transformation starts to happen. When you can look at people, anybody, thousands of people, one person, and say, hey, this is who I am, and this is where I have to fix myself.
You get awareness by getting a punch in the face. And I think it's a responsibility for every human being, should they want to have value in the lives of others, to seek awareness in how they show up in the world. And
opportunity comes to you many times. Opportunity comes, you can either take it or remain scared of it. If you don't take it, it's going to knock on somebody else's door, and it's going to invite them to the adventure.
Perfection doesn't exist. It don't exist, Joe. You're going to do things, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to fuck up. You're supposed to learn and then move forward with the understanding of what not to do.
Problem with that, the Achilles heel with that, is if you get up and you have the courage to keep on going every time and get up and dust yourself off, you make the same mistakes each time around because you never backed up.
This is your opportunity of a lifetime. Take the 5%. Go the 5% distance. It's going to be scary as all head. It will drive you to the ground. You'll fail a few times. You'll fall on your face. Get up. Keep getting up. Keep getting up. And if you don't, you have to be happy for the rest of your life. If you don't take the last 5%, you have to be happy the rest of your life knowing it went to somebody else's door.
You got to get better the same way you got sick.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can't just win one game and now you're even. And they're like, come on, what are you, pussy? You scared? Like, no, that's not how this works.
You lost one at a time. You're not gaining it all back.
You went down a dark road and you missed a lot of shots and now you're fucked. And I'm not going to let you off the hook with one easy thing.
And the only way to move forward in life is by starting and just taking action. There's no book or a 12-step program or perfect way that it's going to organize things. And this sounds super trite to say. I know everyone knows that, but people still don't do it. Awareness doesn't mean anything. Action is all that matters.
People get frustrated not achieving what they want because they assume that they're going to jump across a cavern in one leap. But if you picture your goals like you're trying to build a bridge across that crevice, and every brick that you put on that bridge is progress, and each one of those bricks represents a skill that you need to learn along the way, it just takes all the way until you get to the other side.
The moment you take action, your life will change. The moment you take action, clarity replaces confusion. The moment you take action, momentum begins. The moment you take action, the right time finally arrives. The moment you take action, you stop waiting for permission.
But people don't understand that, like, slow motion is better than like no motion. Like,
facts.
Like slow progress is way better than just not having nothing. And I feel like today's like right now, people aren't patient. Like, I swear to God, I just feel like people are not patient with the blow up.
The distance that we can shrink between wanting to do something or thinking something should be done and it being done is a direct indication of our personal power in our lives. And so that has helped me basically think, don't be a powerless bitch. Just shrink the gap.
I'm going to make the smallest decision possible. I'm going to take the smallest step possible, but I'm going to take a step. Because I'm never going to know everything. And if I take the time to try and know everything, everything will have changed by the time I know it. So I'm going to absolutely take that step and take that action.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years. People are like, what's your 5-year plan? I have no idea what my 5-year plan is because I don't know what opportunities are going to arise. I don't know what things I'm going to fail at. I don't know what mistakes I'm going to make. So how am I going to sit here and tell you where I'm going to be in 5 years? I can't. And if I did, I'd probably be shutting off some opportunities that are there because I'm too close-minded and focused on some 5-year plan. So I make iterative decisions about things. I move a little bit in some direction. I test, I get the feedback from it. Was it good? Was it bad? Should I put more resources toward it or not?
Tweet, which is that the world belongs to those who can continue to work without seeing the result of their work. Continue to do without seeing the result of their doing. And it's really the person who can do that for the longest period of time. And that's usually because they're still getting leading indicators. It's just that it's amounting to a much bigger mountain. And so like if you want to do big shit, it takes a way longer period of time because the easy shit, the little hills, everyone conquers really quickly. I'm on time. I say please and thank you. It's like, so fucking what? And so like if you want to do something that most people can't do, literally just extend the time horizon on the things that most people can't weather. Like there's so much opportunity on the other side of being willing to persist for an extended period of time on the correct path without getting positive reinforcement from your environment.
Unconsciously, things wheels are turning in there, and your frustration is merely a sign that you're not aware of the progress that you're making unconsciously. And and you have to push through it.
No matter what you're aiming at over the next 10 years in your life, I think this horrible realization that bucks the trend of every Instagram quote you'll ever read or every course you'll ever buy is that the fast way is the slow way, because the slow way is the only way.
Struggle doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It usually means you're on a real one, right? Struggle doesn't mean you're making a mistake. Struggle could mean that you have a lot to learn to get to this goal. Pain isn't proof of misalignment. It's proof you're growing. It's proof it matters.
Every day is literally the laying down. This church is the same example. Everything was built individual, brick by brick by brick. After now you see a beautiful building, but every brick was laid out individually. If you don't lay down half of the bricks right, this building wouldn't exist. It would come crumbling down. So it's the cumulative of every single day, efforts consistently over an extended period of time that are gonna dictate whether you win at life or not.
I didn't do them willingly. I did them because I was in so much fucking pain that I was boxed into a corner and felt like the only way out was through. In other words, when the pain of my circumstance exceeded the tremendous amount of fear that I was harboring about doing something different. Until you start doing things differently, you're always going to get the same result. And yet we're so calcified around who we are and what we're doing, and this is my identity, and this is who I am, that it becomes very difficult to break free of that.
30 days ain't going to do shit for you. The permanent, you want to make it permanent. Permanent, you start talking about a year, 18 months, 2 years, that's a sacrifice. And when you commit yourself to something for a year, you're not going to say, oh, I'm gonna let that go. Because in your mind, you have it clear as day. That year took a lot out of me. That year built me. That year started to scrape away all that scar tissue. Started to clean me up. 30 days doesn't clean shit up. 30 days just kind of covers up, put a blanket over it. It's like putting a rug over it. A year, it cleans you up nicely, man. Whatever your problem is, if you can dedicate yourself for a year to something, you can be a changed person.
And I'm going to tell you right now, it won't be easy. It will be hard because life is hard. That's what life is. And these challenges that you face, they're going to do their best to take you down. Do not let them. Stand up, dig in. Line up those problems and confront them, face them, fight them. Do not let them bring you down.
I played the longer game because my game wasn't about being better than you at 13. It was to be better than you when the chips are really on the line. And so then fast forward to when I'm 17 and my game is completely well-rounded, and that player at 13 that I saw at 13 is still doing the same shit at 17. Now you got a problem. That's right.
You don't have to feel good about it. You just have to keep going. The feeling will pass, but you will remain. You are greater than your feelings. Going to bed late and waking up early to work for a few days won't kill you. You're not going to burn out. You're doing what it takes. If you're one of those people that push work-life balance, just remember, the people who like working a lot don't care. I've never regretted trying harder at anything ever. Hard times last long, but an epic story feels like a lifetime.
The grind is really what's gonna be hard though, because everybody get comfortable, everybody be doing this, everybody be doing that. And the way I be thinking is that if I'm taking any breaks, there's somebody out there right now that's literally grinding his ass off and is gonna blow up anytime now.
And then you start realizing that you can do the thing even though you don't feel good about it. And you start hypertrophying it. But I think the ultimate version of the hypertrophy, when the muscle becomes a tendon or it just becomes fused, is when you don't even consider how you feel. It's just not a thought. You just do it.
Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you're getting, not what anyone else is getting. Whenever you get an opportunity, you take advantage of it. You treat it like it's the Super Bowl. You treat it like it's game day. Go out there and treat practice like no one else does.
The most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually you act on it, whether it be good or bad.
They forget every training they do is not for the surrounding.
You do the training for yourself. You do it to become better and make a better version of yourself and test yourself.
And I always say you can't change your first thought, but you can change your second thought. So I noticed a judgment as a first thought. Awareness. My practice that I decided for myself was I'm gonna force myself in my head to say 3 things that I like about this guy. I paused myself in the moment. I found myself in a pattern that I don't want to be in anymore. What are 3 things that I like about this guy? And I said it, and then I went on about my day. And I started doing this over and over and over and over again. And one thing that I noticed is that my first thought started changing.
And every day you go back out and you start earning that. And every day you wake up, it sucks. And when it's over, you feel better. It sucks, you feel better. And as you get going, as every step you take in that journey, as you're like, for me, I run every day. Fucking hate it. But every step I take, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, you're beating the demon again.
The part we can control is what's going on inside of us. And that we can control what we focus on. We can control the meaning. We can decide the meaning. We're the meaning makers, and we can decide what to do. And when we make those 3 decisions, we're in control of our life, and all the anxiety and bullshit tends to go away, especially if we're trying to do that to serve something more than ourselves.
I've reflected a lot over the years of how much of my mental peace I've had to sacrifice to accomplish what I've accomplished. And it's just been a lot of like waking up at 5 a.m., going through the day, wake up, weigh myself, weigh my food, do my check-ins in the mirror, like go to the gym, work out, what's wrong with everything? It's like, am I good enough? Am I being enough? Am I doing enough to win the Olympia right now?
Victims see their past as their fate. Champions see their past as their origin story. And so a lot of people are living through their origin story right now, or they're living through the very reason that they'll never be successful, but it could be the exact same situation. And the only difference between either character is the actions they choose to take.
You can't pretend. There's no pretending you're good. You have to be good. There's no pretending you're fast. You have to be fast. There's no pretending to be technical. You have to be perfect. Yeah, your technique has to be perfect because you're fighting against other trained killers. Like you're not fighting.
Your weaknesses will be revealed.
All right, you got one life. And that one life, the goal for us is to live it to the best of our ability from the beginning to what's said the end. In the middle, in the beginning, middle, you're gonna do things, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fuck up. You're supposed to learn and then move forward with the understanding of what not to do. And when you move forward, life may get better, it may not, but somewhere along the lines it's gonna click. And everything that I went through back here was supposed to happen so that now that I'm here, I'm able to go ahead with such a high level of knowledge, and I can make other people better. I can make myself better. I can do more for my family. Something happens.
But I started realizing this is part of the process. This is part of the journey. I had to realize this is part of my process versus just saying, like I used to, I'm just not good enough. If I'm not good enough, we always say that shit. I'm just not good enough, and then we try something else. I'm gonna fucking make myself good enough. And that became my mentality.
The only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been. Nothing's changed since the 70s. Nothing. Except people train not as hard.
If you give up a little bit today, like you can't get it back. Like if you skip a workout today, there's no possible way to get that back. When you let something go, it's gone.
I started to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a fucking miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if?
Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome didn't fall apart on a day either. It didn't fall apart because of one thing. It falls apart just a little bit at a time.
Yeah, nobody gets fit overnight, nobody gets fat overnight. Either.
Exactly.
You can have no self-belief and show up anyway. You can want more for yourself without knowing exactly what that looks like. You can doubt the process, question your talent, be uncertain that you're making progress, disparage your accomplishments, permanently feel like you're not working hard enough no matter how hard you work, never give yourself a break, fail to fully feel gratitude, be terrified of never reaching your goals, and still end up in a place that your 20-year-old self could not imagine.
I knew years and years and years ago what I wanted to look like as a horseman. And so I have to have the humility and the common sense to look at myself constantly and say, son, you ain't there yet. You're not even close to there yet, you know, and just keep studying, keep learning, and, you know, keep riding.
What comes first, belief or action? Do you need to believe that you can do a thing before you can do it? Fake it until you make it is one option, but incredibly hard if you're introspective and have low self-belief and high standards. So what about make it until you believe it? Here are some lessons that I've learned. You can believe you're not worthy of a thing and still attain it. You can be adamant that your efforts are going to go badly and still succeed.
Your next level of development comes in the moment where level 1 is solved. You found a solution for level 1. Now, challenge number 2, next level. As long as you don't find the key for level number 2, stay there many years.
It's possible you've got some talents, some ideas in you, your ability to do some stuff that you haven't even discovered yet. And I'm suggesting that it's necessary that you get outside of your comfort zone. It's necessary that you develop some new relationships where you can learn from people. It's necessary that you do reading, that you do research. It's necessary, if you're already involved in some business, that you don't be satisfied with where you are. If you want to make it today, it's necessary for you to constantly look at ways of getting better.
And questioning that over and over and over again is not to lead you into this abyss where there's nothing real. It's to get you closer to who you are, to what really matters, to what that essence of you is, to what you're meant to accomplish in life. And once you reach that inner kind of gold, then you have a degree of certainty. So I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be a writer, right? I had a struggle to figure out what kind of writing I wanted. But knowing that that's who I am, probably about at the age of 8, it allowed me to go, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to do that. This isn't important.
You have the ability to outwork everyone in the room. That is your gift. And your job is to double down on that in all areas of your life. And this is what is going to create a trajectory for you. It tells it you're capable of anything, but the only way that you're going to get there is by suffering. Suffering is your success equation. I would do insane sets that no one else would do because I knew no one else would do them. And I picked the hardest, the event that creates the most suffering because that was the easiest to distinguish myself in.
And people miss out on this, man. The purpose, we're all looking for this golden purpose. Is it this? Is it that? Is it making money? Is it my family? Motherfucker, the purpose is you. We forget that. Every fucking day I wake up and I don't want to do some fucking shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a bitch today? Do you want to feel like a little bitch? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? So it's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit when you ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks.
Like in minus 40 degrees, you cannot even stand still for 3 seconds. Like if you stand still for 10 seconds, you're gonna die right there. You're gonna get a heart attack, frozen to death. So you don't even need to eat. You just have to, only thing I remember was moving.
Keep going.
Keep moving. Whatever I was doing, I had to keep moving.
You gotta change your mindset to know my whole job now is at 4 o'clock in the morning. I get the shit kicked out of me for 18 months. You gotta create that new norm. That has to be your lifestyle. You are the master of your own mind. Create that masterpiece. Be proud of yourself at the very end of it all. My life had come to this crossroads where I'm like, man, you have to go right. And no one was going right. Everybody was going left. I'm like, you have to go right. And to know the pain and suffering I was about to endure by going right, the amount of accountability and failure I was going to witness and suffer by myself alone on this journey, it was daunting.
It doesn't take a fragrance. It's not about the tabloids. It's about you putting in the work, practicing every day, practicing your vocals, practicing your instrument, practicing songwriting. And hopefully one day you write the song, you know, the whole world wants to get down to. And I promise you, one day you're gonna have your moment to shine, and you're gonna have a lot of people saying that you can't do it, and you're not good enough, but I promise you, if you go out there and you sing, and you put your heart and soul into it, and you follow your dream.
The man who never fail, has no glory. The man who fell and got back up, that's where his glory is. The man who fell 20 times and got up 21 times, that man has even greater glory.
Wow.
That man has more courage, way more courage than the guy who was so strong from birth that he never failed. There's no glory in that.
Success isn't a goal, a journey, or a destination. When you get it wrong, it's a horizon. Every single step that you take towards it, it runs one step further away.
The more you want your life now, let's say, in the future to be quite different than what you're used to, the more you need to be able to let go. Let go of patterns, let go of the way of thoughts that you had in the last years and months.